Yes, guys, welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me, guys. I do appreciate it. We just watched Liverpool get absolutely humbled by Manchester City, 4 goals to 1. I've already gone off in my watch along. I'm sick to death of this football club now. I'm sick to death of this manager at times. The tactics are appalling. He gets away with murder. No one questions him ever. I'm questioning him today. I've opened up the phone lines for you guys to come in and have your say as well, because I know there's a lot of people that might want a lot to say. I've got Albert waiting in below. Albert, I'll get you in a minute, my man. I'm just going to chat and I'll get you in soon. Look, this team, first half, Liverpool were a good side. I said it in the first half. I praised Jurgen Klopp in the first half. I praised him. I said, this is the way I wanted us to set up. 4-2-3-1 or 4-4-2, whatever you wanted to call it. You know, a bit more defensive minded, playing counter-attacking football and causing City some issues. I was actually really happy with that. I was fine with it. 1-0 at half time. I think you and me and everyone in the chat doing the watch along were actually like, that's all right, you know. I'm cool with that. I'm cool. And then in the second half, we turn into a high line, pressing Man City's midfield team, and we open it all up. I don't know what happened, and I need people to explain it to me. Because as far as I'm concerned, we played well in the first half and played one tactic. The second half, we played a completely different tactic. Taking off Mo Salah and bringing on Oxlade-Chamberlain to play right wing is a sackable offence. Simple as that. It's a sackable offence. I don't get it. I don't get it. Jurgen Klopp has got a fetish with Diogo Jota. Jota starts when he's fit, no matter what Jota's form's like. No matter what Jota's form is like, if he's fit, he starts. If he's fit, he starts. Doesn't matter the form. It does not matter about his form at all. And then the players just gave up. The players gave up. The players were disgusting today. They gave up. The manager was disgusting today. He gave up. I can't believe this is happening to this team. I really can't believe it. Man City are a tremendous football team. Of course, Man City can beat us even when we're at our very best. But today I saw a lack of intelligence from the manager. I saw a lack of in-game tactics, and he didn't know what to do. He decided to bring James Milner on at 4-1 to go defensive because, you know, I don't know what scoreline has to be for you to make a defensive substitution. We brought on attacking players and went more attacking when we were 3-1 down, when we're getting smashed about by City. In-game tactics is an issue. In-game management is an issue. The players' hunger is gone. These players are no longer hungry. These players are full up. There's no room for dessert. These players are done. The whole team needs changing. Trent Alexander-Arnold cannot play right back for Liverpool anymore. I'm not going to keep going on about this. I want us to play a back three. I'm so desperate for this team to play a back three and play Trent and Robbo as fullbacks. Trent cannot play a right back in a back four anymore. He just can't. He can't do it anymore. Every team targets Trent time and time again. It don't matter if Trent's form gets better. I don't want to hear it. Trent's going to get better. Trent's form's going to get better. It's not going to stop people targeting him. His form might get better and better and better. They're still going to be targeting him because no matter how better his form gets, he's never going to be good enough as a defender to play right back for Liverpool. So if that's the case, what do we do with Trent Alexander-Arnold? Seriously, we have to have a proper discussion today. And I mean real talk, guys. Let's have real chats here. Let's not sit on fences. Let's have a real poxy talk today. What do we do with Trent Alexander-Arnold? What do we talk about the manager? Is Jurgen Klopp one-dimensional as a manager? Can he only set up and play in one way? So when Jurgen gets all the players he wants and we start performing again, does that mean Jurgen can only play in one way as a one-dimensional manager? Do we have to talk about Jurgen's in-game tactics and management? The substitutions are disgusting. Salah should never become... I'm sure everyone in the chat and the boys waiting to come on will agree with this. Salah should never be substituted for Oxlade-Chamberlain as a right winger. Ever. Ever. It's disgusting. It's ill management. Our football is the most basic football I've ever seen. It's kick and rush football. The players are not trying. The manager's not trying. The owners are not trying. The scouting's not trying. No one's trying at this football club. We've got to have a serious talk about it today. I'm going to bring on everyone as well. I'm going to bring Drew on. John, Albert, how you doing, guys?
Yeah.
How we doing?
How can you be doing after that? I don't know how you're supposed to be doing after that. Yeah.
God, guys, honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not really angry. Not shocked. Do you know what's funny? On the last call-in show, I'm actually gonna look for that individual that said that I was having a bad take, because remember, Albert, I said if Trent was in another top team, he wouldn't be playing. He's very lucky to have come through the Liverpool academy, because if he was in another top team in the top 4, even top 5, he would not be playing. He would not be playing.
Yeah, you can't have that much of a deficiency in playing a top team. I'm sorry.
I think he's getting a lot of stick for things that aren't even fully like his fault this game. Like everyone was at fault.
Whoa. Let me just read that super chat here and let me come back to that.
Yeah.
So Ride Shotgun, big up to you, super chat. Players gave up a 2-1 they no longer believe. I agree. The players also gave up a 2-1 because Klopp changed tactics.
Yeah.
So in the first half, we played more defensively minded. We played that 4-4-2. We played more defensively. The midfield and the back 4 were defensively more together. Second half came out. We went with a high line and pressing Man City's midfield. I don't get the change, and no one's explained it to me yet. And I need someone to explain it to me. Go for it, guys.
I don't think there is an explanation. I mean, I think that everyone's criticism of Klopp the whole season is his tactical ineptitude and the fact that he is unable to adapt in any in-game situation. I mean, his subs just go ahead and show that. You're taking off Mo Salah down 3-1. Just leave him out there. Just let him stay. Yeah. Just let him stay for his own like mental well-being. Just let him stay and let him keep playing. But at the end of the day, we've played great football at certain points in this season. So I don't think that you can blame everything on the players. And I think that that's what a lot of people are doing today. And Klopp's tactics just have to be called out. It makes no sense. And I don't think that anyone here can provide an explanation as to what just happened or what has happened.
But Mike, I just want to ask you, because a lot of times when we have call-in shows or, match reviews, a lot of people, they literally always say, well, you can't blame players on today, or you can't blame the manager on today. This is how we have been going for a long, long time. Yeah. Like, it's not just like literally, we can't just have performances and then every time it's, oh, well, it's just today. It's just today. This is how we are going, and we're going to be at this for the foreseeable future. It's not just today.
Well, I totally agree with you, and I'm not trying to downplay. If that's how I sounded, then I apologize. When I say that I don't. The players obviously deserve criticism because they're not showing up and they're not playing to their capabilities. But at the same time, my fundamental belief this season is that Klopp is not putting them in positions to win. Klopp is not putting them in a system that is suited for their current capabilities. I think he's trying to play this team as if he sees them being better than they really are. And that's that is the core issue, right? Yeah. He thinks that Trent and Robbo can push up the line and that somehow magically we will get cover. He thinks that we can play a high line and that somehow our midfield will magically cover. He thinks that he thinks that there can be 40 yards of space between our midfield and our forwards. So when I say that I think that the players are getting too much stick, I think that people are sort of kind of forgetting the fact that the manager is the root of the system, right? Like the manager is the root of the tree and the players are the branches. If you cut down the root, all those branches are going to fall. So if your main man is putting you in a position where you're not capable of playing or going out there and putting out results, I can't, yes, I can blame you for your lack of passion, your lack of desire, and for making mistakes, but ultimately I have to look at the root of that problem. And the root of that problem is the tactics and the systems. And I've been saying that I think that the system is broken, and I don't think new players are going to fix this system. I think that it's like putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Like you're just, sure, maybe in some games it'll work and we'll get a result here or there. But all of these problems we had last season with the same system and a healthy team, we just got results. And I know that that's a crazy thing to say, but that's just the fact of the matter. All of the issues are the same. So
do you know what? Yeah, somebody in the comment section, I forgot who it was. They made a very good comment because I think they said, I think they put it towards me in terms of agreeing with what I was saying, but they were saying stuff like, Liverpool, we've always been a team that were back in the day to where our players were on form, but it's not a longevity thing, if that makes sense. Like it was just never going to last. It was just like everything's about the moment for us in terms of how we was playing, the games we was winning, and the trophies that we won. But in terms of longevity, again, the reason why I'm not really upset is because, like, just the way that we play, I'm not shocked that this is just how we are and this is just where we're going, if that makes sense. Because we only have one way of playing, no tactics, players don't suit our system, a right back that, let's be honest, technically he's good going forward, but backwards, like, coming back defensively, he's not fast enough, physically he's not good enough, can't read the game well enough. And again, let's really be honest, if Coutinho never came to Liverpool, we would have never ever had the money to even buy players to compete the way that we did. Let's really be honest. Because FSG is never going to spend money to buy VVD, Salah, Mane, Fabinho. Let's really be honest.
I agree. Let me just talk super chats first. Big up Ride Shotgun. Klopp is generally not helping Trent. He is to blame. I agree. Big up James. Klopp's delusional with his subs and his in-game management is shocking. Plus the players are not up to the task anymore. Maybe 4 or 5 players have fight. What I'm going to say on all this before I get everyone else's opinion. Right, I want to get my say because everyone's going at Twitter. I just put a little thing out on Twitter saying I take it that result weren't Klopp's fault, and everyone's coming back to me and say it weren't Klopp's fault because the Church of Klopp, you can't say anything wrong about him. Klopp's system does not work at the moment. I praised him in the first half doing the watch long. I thought he actually got the right tactics in mind away to Manchester City. City are always going to be dangerous. I'm not going to City expecting us to beat them. We're in poor form at the moment. We're a poor team. But I thought he got the tactics pretty much spot on in the first half. I think we can all pretty much agree with that. I thought we did all right in the first half, to be fair. And we created chances as well. And then in the second half, we played the highest line I've ever seen in the world. And we decided to press Man City's midfield. And then, when we conceded that second goal to De Bruyne with the tap-in, yeah? You can't tell me that Konate and Van Dijk were in them positions through their own choosing. There is no way Van Dijk and Konate, as defenders, would go in them positions of the pitch if it weren't told to do so. If they weren't told to put a high line on and press in that area. Because Konate was right back and Van Dijk was shadow right back. There was no centre backs. That has to be.
It was a back three.
That has to be told to do that. They have to be told to do that. We didn't do that in the first half. And in the second half, it's like Klopp saw it and went, you know what? City are there for the taking. No, they're not. Just carry on playing the way we were. Get the 1-1. Maybe we can nick a 2-1 playing that way. But opening up against this City team. In my preview the other day, I said if Liverpool open up against Manchester City, we would get annihilated. The second half we opened up, we got annihilated. The first half, we matched them. I can't see how we can't. Why is Klopp? Someone needs to tell me this. Why is Klopp always? Why does no one ever blame him for anything? I'm telling you right now, Klopp could come to my house, knock on my door, I could answer it, and he could shoot me in the face. Yeah, some reason it'd be my fault, right? It'd be my fault. And then I go, Jamie put the gun in Klopp's hand, right? It'd be my fault because people don't find him. Oh, it just irritates me. Guys, go for it. Or I'm going to have a heart attack. So
Listen, I keep asking this question. At what point is it the manager's fault? At what point? I mean, for now, that's the fundamental question that Liverpool need to ask. Because I hear, today it's strength, always the centre backs, always the system, always this. At what point is Klopp going to be under pressure to produce results or lose his job? At what point? Because, guys, what we saw today was worse than Real Madrid. It was worse than Real Madrid. Because what was that? How do you start off with the 4-4-2? If you remember, we had this conversation, and I said before, I said that I don't even know what Klopp will do anymore. But I suspect he's going to play the same way he played them in the last match. So
I'm not
so
defending him, but
Go on, Faz, go on, Faz.
apart from subbing off,
yeah, let me finish, please.
yeah,
So he started the same way. We went 1-up, almost the same way we scored against them at Anfield. Then Robertson did what he did in conjunction with Trent and VVD. So what happens is we concede a goal, we go in 1-1, and then all hell breaks loose for the second half. This is the same thing he did when we went to Brighton. Remember?
Oh yeah, it was the same. Yeah.
Second half, he comes in with something entirely different and everything. Look, the time has come for somebody to start asking Klopp some questions. We can't keep sitting there and saying, oh, there's a rebuild coming. Well, what the fuck is a rebuild? We have 11 more matches to play, and we have to make a serious attempt to win these matches. How do you replace Salah with Oxlade-Chamberlain? Take off Gakpo and bring Milner. I mean, if you need to show up your midfield, what is Artamelo doing on the bench? We are paying him. What is he doing?
Players don't even need rest. I don't even understand why is he pulling people? We have no midweek
and the
game.
conversation has to be had. When are we going to accept the fact that Trent should not be our fullback?
I don't think Trent can be fullback next season. I really don't.
Look at what Grealish did to him.
Yeah, everyone does. Faz,
Yeah.
I think Faz wanted to speak before.
No. Jerry, today it was bad.
Oh, it was
Today
terrible.
it was bad. It was almost Vinicius-esque. Today it was bad.
Trent was all, but Faz wanted to chat. I think. Go on, Faz.
yeah.
What?
I don't get the idea that this is a transition season, because for a transition season to take place, you need multiple new players that you signed last summer for it to take place. So it isn't really a transition season. It's more or less a decline. And I'm trying to think about what we could have done differently. I know we should have not taken Salah off, and I know we should have not played a high line, but what other players would you have put in there off the bench to start off with? Maybe you would have started Nunez, but would he have made a difference?
Yes, it would.
He
Of
also
course
had.
he
Well,
would.
hold
I
on.
don't think he would have
Nunez,
made that much of a difference.
he had the foot problem. That's why he didn't play the full game.
There's other things, but Klopp won't do them. That's the problem. We could have played 3 at the back, so then Trent wouldn't have got exposed as well. But Klopp would never do that. So there are things, but it's like it all goes down to Klopp again. But yeah.
It's ultimately like, I don't even think that it's that deep of a personnel problem. Like we have played against great teams this season, and we have played unbelievably. Like we were 5-1 in the group stage. I keep saying it, but like that shows that there's quality in this team. It's not.
Yeah, but Mike, Trent, just okay. If we was to just look at right backs, usually, okay, they usually have one or the other. Okay, so let's just say, in general, usually right backs have pace. Even if you can't defend as a right back, okay, usually your pace can get you out of stuff. If somebody goes past you,
Yeah, Drew, add positioning, pace, and positioning.
But I don't think it's super fair though, because
but I'm saying in general, Trent just doesn't have certain traits to play at right back.
yes,
I'm saying just right back itself, okay? Because
agreed.
I know a lot of people are saying, oh well, Trent just needs motivation. Listen, Trent in general I actually think Trent is trying his hardest. I just don't think he's capable of
So do
doing
I.
it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's got nothing to do if he's not trying or he doesn't have heart anymore. He is just not capable of doing it. It's the same as Henderson. To me, once you've gone any player to me that there's like literally, I think any player when you drive up against Henderson and you go past him again, I think also it's game over. There's certain players that once you've gone past them, they just can't really do anything.
His
Like
spatial awareness is horrible.
Well,
horrible.
I think that to respond to Faz, that I don't think it's so much of exchanging players. I think it's more of changing the positioning, like Albert just said, and changing the shape of the team, right?
Yeah.
Like the problem with this team is that for 3 years we have relied on our right and left back to essentially play the cam role. They are giving us all of our assists.
But guess what? Just not to cut across you.
Yeah.
Give me just a second.
Sure.
Robertson was the worst player on the field today. Robertson.
Agreed.
He was the worst player.
Agreed. 100%. And I think that to look at Trent and to look at his defensive incapabilities, we also have to look at the fact that Klopp sees this system as the right back is the cam. Like Trent is essentially our creative midfielder, but he's just playing at right back, which just leaves us in a giant hole.
This is a shout, by the way. What's the difference between Trent and Alba Romano playing at right back? That is a shout, because we all slagged Moreno off and wanted him out because he couldn't defend, but he was excellent going forward.
Yeah, to me, go on, Jamie. No, go on.
I just don't know what we do with Trent going forward. Look, for me, next season, I think a harsh reality is that I say this all the time. I'm quite straight with it. I don't want a Fabinho in my team next season because he looks good when he's being carried. Yeah, my DM shouldn't look good because he's being carried. My DM should just look fucking good. Full stop. Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't want my right back only to be good if he's been carried because he has a midfield in front of him that lets him do his job. I don't know any other right back in world football who's had that problem.
Exactly.
So that's an issue on Trent, and instead of sorting the issue out, we're fixing holes where don't need to be fixed sometimes. Like Trent is an issue. I think the club knows Trent is an issue at right back, but we set up in a way that hides Trent's deficiencies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But now we can no longer do that because the problem is, even if Trent gets better, he's never going to be good enough to defend at right back, and he's always going to be exposed. The opposition are always going to go Trent's the weakness. No matter how good Trent gets, he's always going to be the weakness. So next season, this team have to think seriously what they do with Trent Alexander-Arnold. He has too much ability for me to keep playing right back going forward. Look, our goal today came through Trent's creativity. No one else on the pitch would have done what Trent had done today for the ball to Jota. That's what he's great at.
We won't get major. Well, we won't get major surgery like that at all. We won't get a backup for Trent. We won't get that type of major surgery that you're looking for.
Everybody wants Bellingham.
Sell him then. Sell him. Everybody
wants Bellingham. Everybody wants to spend Bellingham, Garvido, 100 mil, 110. Like I don't understand our fans. Like we don't have these Arab Asian owners. We like Liverpool don't spend money like that. But all this Bellingham 120, Garvido 100 plus. Like 2 play. What we need about 6, 7.
I mean, do.
Yeah.
We need a full back. What's the definition of a right full back? Defender.
Well,
defender.
We actually do have the money. It's just that the FSG prefer profits over progress. But regardless,
we all want FSG out. Every one of us want FSG out.
Guys, hold on a second. Let's put FSG aside today. Okay, FSG didn't select the team. There's a question that I'm asking, and we are all adding here. The addendum is Latin for we all agree. There is something wrong with our lateral defense on the right side.
Yeah, it's always been like that.
Okay?
100%.
It's okay to have a bad day. Today, Robertson had a bad day. Okay? But Trent is incapable of being a right full back. I don't know what camera angles you guys saw in the UK, but for those of us in the States, Mike, are you in the States?
Yeah.
So you saw the camera, the overhead cameras panning the first goal. Did you see where Trent was?
He was covering in the center because Robbo pushed, and then Van Dijk had to play with his back towards the ball.
That's the spatial awareness I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Did you see how he tried to clear that ball? Oh, he just fell over. He
Drew, did you see that? Did you see that?
Yeah. I texted my friend straight away. I was like, did you see where Trent is?
Dang.
Well, I mean, to answer your question about Trent and the right back, if we were to look and we just imagine for a second that we did have money, like let's just say, okay, like you can replace the whole team with whoever you want. Let's play FIFA here for a minute, right? And let's say we drop to a 4-4-2 and you put Trent at right mid and you buy a defensive right back. Like,
no. Hold on.
Do we think? No. I'm just kind of like playing hypotheticals here, just to kind of work out the system, because I think that it's more of the system problem.
Yeah, but Mike,
how would you change the team?
Hold on. When we're saying Trent as an RM, we're not saying him playing in the 4-4-2. Even that will make it. It will still be bad. We're saying we need to play a back three.
Hey,
then not a 4-4-2.
Yeah,
that would still be horrible.
Sure.
Yeah, that's also a solution. That is definitely a solution. But haven't you guys seen the advert that Klopp did with the beer advert that he said, who plays a back three anymore?
He won't do it, yeah.
I know.
Well, again, I think his stubbornness is our biggest Achilles heel. I think that just like the fact that he is so hell-bent on this 4-4-3 press system, and we have just proven time and time again that we are completely incapable. It's Einstein's definition of insanity. We're watching the team go out and do the same thing week after week, and then we come here and we yell about how they're just doing the same thing, and we get the same results over and over, whether it's
he just gave an interview, a post-match interview, and all he did was commentary on 95 minutes. He just gave commentary on 95 minutes, and they did this, and they pressed, and we couldn't do this, and we fucking saw what you couldn't do, idiot.
Yeah. Right, I've got a question for everyone. Robbo today pressing from right back, leaving his defensive man, going into midfield. There's nothing in behind him. Why the play? If the instruction is not to press, right? If Klopp's giving the instruction, let's say he's not giving the instruction not to press. Why are the players not listening to him? Why are the players doing what they want and not? If Jurgen's telling them to not press, no pressing, boys. I don't want you doing it. Why are the players still doing it? So, has he lost the dressing room? Is there more to this? Because it's obvious. If people are sticking up for Klopp and saying he did nothing wrong, it's all the players. I'm just reading Carragher's tweet here about Robbo, and he's questioning it as well. If Robbo's pressing, right, and it's not come from that instruction has not come from the manager, then Robbo got substituted for it, in my opinion, right? So that instruction never came. That instruction probably never came, because if that instruction came from the manager and he's doing what the manager told him to, taking him off is a bit out of order, because you're telling Robbo to do what you've asked him to do, right? But Robbo's obviously doing it on his own free accord. So why are these players not listening to their manager right now, if that's the case as well? What is happening? What happened at half time? We went in at 1-1, played well in the first half. I thought the tactics were spot on. Second half, they come out, changed tactics, and the players gave up. What happens at halftime team talks? Do you know what happens at halftime team talks? They all sit in the change room like this. I'm telling you, they all sit in the change room like this. Hendo gets his book down from his locker, starts reading it, has a cup of tea. You know, he's sipping on a bit of Earl Grey. They're just chilling out. Klopp's over there talking to Pep Linders, probably giving them a blowjob or something like that. They're all having a bit of fun, having a laugh. And then, that big bell goes off that tells you it's time for the second half. They all go, and Klopp goes, shit, I forgot to give the team talk. Boys, go out and press. And they go out. And that's the half-time team talk. Because I don't know what else happens, guys. Someone needs to tell me.
They don't trust each other. That's a problem. It's just that they've lost trust. Individual players have lost trust in each other. Like, Henderson, Fabinho, they don't trust each other. Even, the back line, they don't trust each other. Like, if you throw in Gomez in there, it would have been a worse result. But then we've got Konate as our best centre back. So
He was
what's our
shocking.
excuse?
He was shocking
Yeah.
today, Canate,
No,
by
but
the way.
Faz,
Yeah.
but see, there was a reason why, for me, myself, I know on the calling show last, I did say that I wanted, for me, even though I know Gomez is horrible at centre back, I wanted him at right back at least, because I know physically and pace-wise, at least he would have been a lot better than Trent.
I agree with that.
A lot better than Trent, which is why I said I wanted him at right back, because I already know how Trent is going to be. To me, and I know people are saying, oh, because like, I fully have to agree with Jamie. I think that throughout Liverpool's like tenure in terms of obviously us winning stuff, to our right side, like Albert said, well, it's Gomez and Trent. It's always been our Achilles heel, and we usually have had either Liverpool outscore teams to not make it look as bad, so we can get over the line, or we've had Henderson or Fabinho like cover that right side.
You know what? You've said it all. You have absolutely said it all. Arsenal, I'm watching them right now. They did the same thing with Ben White. Right? Why can't our stupid, dumb manager do the same thing? Because when it gets here, you're stupid. Right? Where we've gotten, somebody is acting the fool in that dressing room. That's what is going on.
He's too loyal, Albert. He wants to stick with these players.
That's stupid.
That's why he's our Achilles heel, because of how stubborn he is, because he's incapable of changing himself. Like, how many times have we done the same thing? We played. Do
you realize that every reason that we try to ascribe to what is going on right now, it ends up as stupid? Do you realize that?
Yeah, 100%.
Like every reason. After you go through all the iterations and you press enter, the screen reads stupid.
Totally inept. Totally and utterly inept. I could not agree more. That's why I genuinely don't see a way forward right now.
Yeah.
And guess what, right?
I have to agree
when
with Jamie.
we scored the first goal, I shouted so much. My wife woke up from the bedroom and came out and said, "What's going on?" I said, "We scored." And she was like, "Whoa, that's good. You guys have scored." Then she goes back to bed and she wakes up and asks, "What was the final score?" I said, "They scored 4." She said, "What?"
The thing we've got to be honest about is that we're no longer a top club, because there is no ceiling for failure when it comes to our results that we've had.
Yeah.
Like, we've surpassed that ceiling a long time ago. Like, look at how our humiliating defeats that we've suffered through the season. Like, this is just another day in the office for us. Like, we've got to be honest with ourselves that we're going to probably suffer results like this for the rest of the season now. And that's what it is. And no one's going to be held accountable, because we don't have any accountability in this club, because FSG are just FSG and they don't really care about the club that way. So Klopp won't get a pep talk or anything like that. He needs more than that, but it's just going to be business as usual. And so but all our words are just going to fall on deaf ears now. And I just want to say,
agree.
Go on.
I just want to say something about FSG. Yeah, we're a minority of fans that want FSG out, and I'm really sad to say we are just a small minority. The YouTube community is a small minority. You don't know, like, I'm not trying to lay into anyone here, but Scousers actually love FSG a lot.
Exactly, bro. I know.
Yeah.
Bro, I know.
They're the ones that should be protesting, because they live down there.
Yeah.
We're the ones that are like voicing our opinions against them, but they're the ones that should be coming out protesting. But it's guys like Hussam that are flying that aeroplane over Anfield. But what are they doing? They love FSG, and we're just a minority, and I don't see them leaving anytime soon. I'm really sorry to say it. I don't see them leaving, and that's why I've given up now.
I've got to say, the Scousers in my chat all want FSG out, so I'm going to stick up with the Scousers in my chat only, because I know the Scousers in my chat do want FSG out. So big up all the Scousers in my chat. But look, everyone about FSG. I just want to put one thing about FSG today, right? Everyone on the panel right now, everyone in the chat, most Liverpool fans know FSG need to leave this football club. I'm not going to go on about FSG too much, because this game's got nothing really to do with them. Yeah, we all know they've got to go. They're crap. They don't invest. We all know it. We can't keep
Yeah.
going on about it. Yeah?
Yeah.
That's a fact. But at the end of the day, my thing with Jurgen Klopp, right? I say this all the time. You know, world-class footballers can be world-class and then they drop off and they're not world-class anymore. That happens, yeah? Well, it can happen with managers, you know. It can. You know, Mourinho used to be at a world-class level and then he dropped off a little bit, yeah? No one sort of says anything about that. But for some reason, we can't say that about Jurgen. Jurgen was a world-class manager that's just dropped off. It's nothing disrespect to the man, yeah? He's just not what he was. And I can't keep going to FSG because if Jurgen was the mastermind, the tactician, the world-class elite manager we know he can be, why ain't he doing better with the players he's got available right now?
It's scary. I was going to say before, Jamie, it's scary because his fan base is so split. I don't know how long this fan base is going to allow Jurgen to do this for. Is this going to happen again next season? And just going to keep saying the same things? Are we just going to be thrashing around in the dark, waiting for something to get better? It's like this is awful.
I mean, I think that's the reason why I don't agree with Faz's point. I do agree with FSG, but I don't agree that we're not a top club. I think that this team has proven with certain games that they are more than capable. It comes down to it's like a game of chess, right? You're only. Actually, no, chess is a terrible analogy, but it's essentially they're not being put out there in a position to win, right? They're being put out there in a position where they're incapable of being able to play the system that they're on. And when we've got it right this season, we've done well. And when we go out there and we get it wrong, we fail. But I don't think it's down to we're not a top club. I think
we don't behave like a top club.
Yeah, well, that I will agree with you. Our behavior, 100%. And I think the lack of passion, yes. But talent-wise, I mean, you can't sit there and look through that roster and tell me that talent-wise we are an 8th-place team. I
disagree with that. I firmly disagree.
Sure.
I firmly disagree.
Can I just answer Mike's question quickly? I'm coming from the point of view from the way we approach failure. We're not a top club.
Okay, got you. And that I would agree.
We're
acting like it.
Sorry, go on.
Guys, 1 second. Let Mitchell, brother, say he was
go on, Mitchell, brother.
First off, thank you, Jamie, for having me on the show. I really appreciate that. It's actually the first show that I've actually come on, so I'd like to thank all you guys. What I will say for me is that I feel like we have this sort of biased mindset as Liverpool fans where we feel that we have talent in our team. And I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like we've literally been bamboozled for a long time. And it's because of the love that we have for our club. But we have to be serious here. When you're playing the likes of Elliott in the midfield alongside Batatic, obviously I'm talking about the game prior to this game, and you're expecting to win the game, I struggle to understand how. But then again, I feel like this has been going on from a while ago, like at least 3 years ago, when we could have capitalized, when we won the league, we won the Champions League. That was our time to really stamp our authority and show the world that we are a club. We are a serious club. And what happens then is each player, if you remember, was around 27, 28. And I was saying all this time, we need players to come in. And Klopp did not bother. He was so arrogant. It was always almost as if he knows what he was doing. You know, the time when we was around, I think 8 or 10 points ahead of City, and we lost against Leicester and West Ham. We were screaming out. I think that was even when the transfer window just come in. We were screaming out for us to strengthen our squad because we had no one from the bench that could change the game. We had no one from the bench that could change the game. If you remember, look at our players and just ask yourself this: how many times do you think the opposition are looking at our bench and saying, "Oh my God, Curtis Jones is coming on. Oh my God, Harvey Elliott is coming on. Oh my God." There's nobody for me, if I'm going to be honest, that threatens the other side. There's nobody that even myself as a fan, I look at and I say, they can make impacts. They can change the game. They can turn a negative to a positive. We've been struggling with that since Coutinho and probably Origi. I can't think of a player that's come off the bench and that can change the game. And this is the problem. We do not have quality players. I'm tired of it. This. I don't know what it is. Why we think that? Like we think that our squad is better than Arsenal's squad. We think our squad is better than where? How? How? We've been running on Klopp's magical dust, you know, and I feel like his dust has run out. We do not have quality players, and this has been going on for a long time. I've said it before, and I've asked you, Jamie, if Harvey Elliott and Curtis Jones were both playing for QPR, would you be surprised? Would you look at them two and say, "Oh my God, I can't believe a quality player like that"? No, because we have been forced to believe that these players are good enough for our club, and they're not. We are a better club than that. We are a better club than those players. So I apologize for taking so long. And what I was saying,
right. Say what you like, mate. Go for it.
Let me just can I come in there, please, mate?
Hang on, one second. Let me just get out Sister Rosie's big super chat there. Much love, thank you very much. Klopp is a wounded manager, and everyone knows we're using a failed system that doesn't work anymore. Klopp failed to address our midfield in 2 windows and create a new system. The players do not fear the wrath of loyal Klopp. I mean, that's a heck of a thing to say as well. But yeah, right. Great call by Mitchell Brother there. Great call as well. Yeah, go on, Paul. You can talk now. Sorry, man.
I think the problem is almost down to Virgil van Dijk's decline since his injury. I don't think he's been the same player, and I was fearful about this when he had his injury. I think that injury and an LCA has a lot of effect on the player. And I once agree. The injury is over, once he's back from his injury, he's not going to be the same player, and he's been lacking that same fearsome kind of imposing form that he had before his injury.
No, I agree. I think Virgil.
I totally agree. And also another thing as well, I think Pep out tactic Klopp today.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Did.
Can I just
I mean, who hasn't? Who hasn't out?
You're right.
Who hasn't?
I think top. I've said before. I think Klopp's time is up. Personally, I hate to say it, but it is.
All right, let's let Bruno speak now because he hasn't spoken yet. Go on, Bruno.
Right. First of all, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Jurgen Klopp's position is in serious question now. I said it on Coppish TV on Friday, and I'll say it again.
I was there, Bruno. I heard you say it, mate.
Yeah, this guy is acting like Wenger, 16, 17 Wenger, and I don't like it. This guy, if he doesn't fix up in the next game, I do not want to see that 4-3-3 formation. That formation has got to retire. I don't want to see it. Get rid of it. The tactics, the highlight, I've said this on Coppish TV 100 times. Go check the videos. I've got the receipts. It's got to go. Like 4-1 against Man City, really? We haven't beaten this team at the Etihad. We beat them by that same scoreline in 2016. 2016, when we had Martin Skirtle in defence. This guy is acting like Wenger. He's acting like Wenger when they got bumped 10-2 against Bayern Munich in 2016-17. This is it. Unless, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Unless PSG sell, we are done. We are finished. We are over. I said this before United. I said this before Real Madrid. I said this before Chelsea. I said this before. We are done at the elite level, right? We are done winning trophies. It's over. It's finished. Unless you were talking about the ones that go to the game. If they're happy with this, performance, right, that's on them. The scouters over there that live next to the stadium and go to the stadium, if they're happy with this, I've told you this before and I'll say it again. Finishing in the top 4 is not good enough. We don't do that here, right? We are not Tottenham bottlers. We are not Tottenham bottlers who have not won a trophy since Rihanna's Good Girl Gone Bad album, right? Since Mariah Carey. since Mariah Carey, since Kerry Hilson, yeah? Since
Well, they haven't won a league title
Saturday.
since black and white television, mate.
Since the Saturdays, yeah? They haven't won a trophy. Since the Saturdays. I could go on and on, yeah? And Tottenham fans, yeah, if they're going to try and come for me, you can't come for me, yeah? Because I will shut
Actually, they
down.
can't.
You'll get shut down. There was this Tottenham fan, right, who was basically trying to banter. You're going to laugh at this. Luis Garcia. I went in there. I was like, "You're trying to banter Luis Garcia, yeah? A guy who's won a Champions League. Get out of it. Get out of it. When was the last time you won a trophy again? Get out of it."
Right, big up Bruno.
This
Big up, Bruno.
performance was absolutely dead. Do you know what I'd make them do? I'd make country running.
Oh, these players are dead enough as it is. Let's not make them do country running, Bruno. Bruno, let's just get that. Is it Maddie Mad? Big up Maddie Mad in the chat.
Anyway, I've got to go anyway. Thank you
way,
very
Bruno.
much for having me.
Thanks,
No
Bruno.
way, Bruno.
Speak
See
to
you
you
later,
later.
mate.
All right.
Good afternoon, people. How
Jamie.
everybody doing?
How you doing, my man?
First and foremost, how you doing, Jamie? How's your daughter doing these days?
Everyone, yeah, to be fair, everyone, the whole family's doing good, my friend. Thank you very much.
All right, so
Enjoy your day.
I understand that, a lot of people just try to say, like, us little people don't know to be a professional manager and all that sort of stuff. But I remember last year, it was literally October. I'm not going to call the show that I was on because I don't want to hang nobody out. But I went on the show and I said, Klopp, by December, if he does not change his ways, people need to start considering that there's a problem with Klopp. There was people called me mad, crazy, stupid because
I was there. I know the show.
And I questioned Klopp. Right? This is the problem, right? And as I said, I'm not going to get into much of my personal life, but I've been in the military for a while. So I'm a thinker. I'm always switching up stuff thinking. Now, the first thing that you got to understand, yes, we have bad owners. Yeah. That's like saying the sun is not the sun. They're bad, right? But the one thing that I always questioned was somebody's principle. And as that comes down again to Klopp, right? And people are going to say, oh, yeah, I'm being harsh on Klopp. I don't know nothing. But I'm just telling you simple common sense. Now, if you are somebody of a prestigious nature, you're qualified, you have done things in the past, right? You have a standard. And if you're working for anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, if they don't provide you with the stuff that you need to maintain your standard, you leave. So, as I said, that shows Klopp has no ambition because he resigned a new contract. Let's not forget that shit. Yeah. And like, as I said on Coppish TV, Klopp is Harry Kane because he got played. Because if you listen to a promise from FFG, like how Kane listened to his manager, he's a punk. I'm sorry to say. Straight up, plain and simple, that's the facts. The other thing, and as I said, I got to give Jamie credit. And you want to know why I got to give Jamie credit?
God, someone.
I remember Jamie from a while back was a FSG man supporting them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it had a day Jamie stock rose exponentially in my book because he came out and he said, you know what? I can't do this no more. Right? And the issue, as I said, I'm having with a lot of content creators, they don't seem to be loyal to their followers because they tend to still not want to point out stuff like how Jamie and some others do, right? Because as I said, I hear everybody saying, oh, Trent is a talent. Yeah, he is a talent, but you never provided him any kind of competition. I've heard content creators say, why are we going to get somebody because we got Trent? He's a generational talent. You know what I turn and I tell them? I say, guess what? When you was dating your wife or somebody like that, there was competition, so you had to step your game up. Even when you're married, you still got to step your game up, because if you just don't, guess what? There are going to be problems, right? And then, as I said, one of the other things, as I said, where it just goes to show that Klopp is at the root of this system. He got everybody on the medical staff last year, pay rises and stuff, right? The medical team sucks. They've been sucking for like almost 3 years, right? Because if people go back and they think about it, some of the top medical leads from Liverpool have left. Why are they leaving? Even Edwards has left. Edwards, right? And I will show you our next thing too. I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with it, but same FSG, Boston Red Sox, because I'm in Massachusetts at the moment. When Red Sox started to turn around and they started that meteoric rise and was killing people left, right, and center, they started off with the same Moneyball stuff. Their general manager was a young kid named Theo, right? He was the mastermind behind the Red Sox turnaround. After a while, he left Red Sox because he realized that, guess what? Moneyball can work to begin your program, but at the end of the day, you have to change and adapt to it. He left. He went to other teams where he produced Major League winning series teams. So that just goes to show. And as I said, at the end of the day, and as I said, I'm just so frustrated. The beginning of the season, we played the Charity Shield or whatever the hell it was, right? Did Klopp not go and have a practice or indoor match with a team before we started the Premier League, our opening season? Who the hell does that bullshit?
It's true. He does. He does it a lot. He does it a lot.
And Konate got injured in that match. It was against Aston Villa.
Well, this is the next thing, as I said. I know everybody's down and, they're rightly just insane so with Naby Keita. But you know what? I'm starting to give Naby Keita a pass because I think Klopp is behind this guy being injured, because we literally have a team that is literally injured. We have, and as I said, I'm not no big statistician or whatever, but what people need to go and check is, what's his name? I'm seeing his name. I can't recall it. The guy we got from Bayern.
Oh, right. Yeah, I know you're on about. Yeah. Cooper Minor, is it, or something like that?
One of our best midfielders when he's healthy. People need to go and check his stats.
Thiago, yeah.
His last 2 years with Bayern compared with 1 year with Liverpool, he has been injured more with Liverpool. Go figure that out.
The running he has to do. He didn't run
precisely. And this is the thing.
Scott's training methods are killing players.
78%
Why is Klopp trying to turn people into something that they are not? Right? Because, as I said, you went and you bring in Nunez. You're constantly just playing Nunez out of position. I'm baffled. What was the point of that? And next thing, as I said, I'm no football expert, but I've been watching Liverpool from way back in the days with all the dates from in Trinidad, right? The thing that puzzles me, Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, and them, yes, they are not top tier players.
They're not yet,
but,
they could be.
But they need developing. And the only way for them to develop is if you loan them out. Klopp refuses to loan people out. So that's the next baffling thing. Because if people watched the match the other day with Curtis Jones playing for England, this guy played his ass off. So
yeah, he played false nine for the under-21s, Curtis, didn't he? He actually played a good game. You make
Exactly.
you bring up some great shouts there as well. Look, people are allowed to change their mind. I think I never get this with football fans. Yeah, right. As you say, I was FSG in a while ago. I didn't see the problem, and then I changed my mind on them, and I see that they're not actually investing into the team, and things change from that standpoint. So I'm allowed to change my mind. I don't get why people get so angry at people changing their mind. And then with Jurgen, look, I keep saying it. Jurgen was a world-class elite manager. There's no doubt about that. He's just dropped off. He's dropped off like players drop off. Players can be world-class and they drop off. Mourinho was a world-class manager. He dropped off a little bit. It happens. You know,
right now, Jamie, I'll give you the joke. I'm waiting for the end of the season because it has somebody from a next channel. When they come on that channel, I'm going to put them on blast because I turned and I put in a message. I didn't say it out loud, but I said, guess what? I would not be surprised if Jurgen does not win another trophy whilst he's at Liverpool. And this particular person, he lives in America. He went off and he was saying this, that, the other. And I said, like, listen, this is nothing personal, right? It's never personal. It's literally like how Liverpool talk about analytics and stuff and all that fancy stuff.
Oh, shit.
That's what it is. And at the end of the day, as I said, you refuse to bring in players to supplement what you have. So that right there is madness, right? I just can't understand it. There was people like Gravenberg and all of these other young players. And you thinking that Jude gonna come here and do what? Which is Jude parents really gonna be sitting down and telling their son, yeah, you know what? You need to go to Liverpool. You're gonna be the savior. Because I'm sorry. That's a special type of. I ain't gonna say it live, but there's some special kind of a smoke they're smoking because at the end of the day, if Jude comes in, who else are we going to get?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, we know this. We all agree with that. I mean, I come from this standpoint. People cook me on Twitter all the time because you say like, I go after people all the time. I just don't sit here and pretend we live in this fairy world that FSG are to blame for everything and
precisely
everyone's extra to that is not to blame. Like Klopp can't get blamed because what FSG are giving him. If I look at our Liverpool team ain't as bad as I think it's being made out to be right now.
It's not great.
You can change it up. You can change tactics. Why do we never change anything? Like we're so persistent and playing one way the whole time. You know, it's high pressing the opposition's midfield, winning balls back in transition, and getting the ball to the forward players as quick as possible. It's all about power and pace. That is what we're about. P&P total all the time, right? If that's not working, and you now know the players, like Klopp can't be stupid. Klopp can't be sitting there and going, right, Henderson's still a pressing machine. Harvey Elliott's a pressing machine. Thiago's a pressing machine. Milner's a pressing machine. Darwin's a pressing machine. Not. That's what they can do anymore. So you've got to transverse this team and figure out a different way of playing. Maybe be a counter-attacking team now. It worked in the first half against City. Maybe we defend a little bit deeper. We give up possession a little bit more. And we turn into a counter-attacking team. Maybe sometimes Klopp's ego is too big to allow him to do things like that.
Well, Jamie, look, I always ask the question at what point. But let me ask everybody who's in this conversation. Do you guys honestly think, for all we say about him, if Joe Gomez plays right back today, do you think we get a 4-1 result? If Tsimikas had played at left fullback, when we went 2-1 down, Robertson should have been replaced.
Yeah, 100%. 100,000%.
I agree.
Would we have conceded 4
goals?
No, absolutely not. It would have been 2-1 at the absolute worst.
For me, that's the problem. That is the problem. And like I said, for everything that we say,
that's a garbage penalty.
Ends up at the doorstep of stupid. That's where it ends up. Because I still can't understand why our manager replaces Mo Salah with Milner.
Well, I mean, to be honest, to kind of question what Jamie was saying, I'm beginning to question the past and really like I want to go back and analyze like, was it really all Klopp for the past 4 years, or was it just that Michael Edwards literally had a miracle? Because I genuinely believe that Klopp does not have a talent ID. I think that he has the worst talent ID out of any manager in the Premier League. I think
totally
that
agree with you, mate.
he puts players in the wrong position. I think that Takumi Minamino is a great example. Like some guy has a great performance against us. He goes, he buys them, he doesn't play.
Yeah, he always places. Yeah,
exactly.
Darwin Núñez, Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott, right? So I'm really starting to think like, was it just that Michael Edwards made the greatest financial play in the history of the Premier League, making us the best team in the world? And now that he's gone and we didn't replace anyone, we're kind of screwed because what the gentleman from Massachusetts said about Theo Epstein. That
there
guy,
you go.
Yeah. Theo Epstein broke the longest.
Is his surname Epstein?
Yeah.
That's a terrible name.
So he actually did that twice though. So he broke the longest streak with the Red Sox in 2004. It was 86 years they hadn't won a championship. They won another one in 2007, and then he did it again with another team, the Chicago Cubs, who hadn't won a World Series in 108 years, right? So, and also not to mention after 2007, the Red Sox stank. Like they sucked for 10 years, and then they went back and they won the World Series, which is kind of my biggest fear right now. Is that we're about to be in a spot where we're just going to suck. Like we are just we're not going to replace anything.
If you don't have talent ID, how about common sense?
No, I totally
how about
agree
that?
with you. I'm not.
Do you remember when Klopp almost turned down Mo Salah and wanted to bring in Julian Brandt?
He turned down. He not wanted to. He did. He turned down Salah and Mane.
He went for Edwards trying to change his mind.
And Brandt.
Not another Havertz. Oh my gosh.
We're not even talking about this season. We haven't even talked about this season, and a lot of our games as well are dead attacking tactics as well, where we have really short attackers and we just hoof the ball into the box again and again. That's starting to Klopp as well. There's so much to this. Like it's like his subs, his in-game management, like the tactics from the training ground. Like there's so much wrong.
Doesn't make sense. It's like literally for the first time in so many years, we have two forwards that are about 6'3" plus, and somehow everybody's like, "Oh no, we can't cross the ball. No, we can't cross the ball. No, they're not gonna get it. They're too short. Like,
see, every time you say Klopp should leave, the purists ask you the question for who.
That's what I don't want to.
Well, I have a solution for that.
I don't want to describe what I think of that question.
No, I have a solution for that.
Because it's like telling me that if you drop dead today, nobody wants to marry your wife.
There you go. He's right because
drop dead and see what happens. Your wife will meet the next husband at your funeral.
No, he's right because you know what is the question I have for purists? I will ask each one of them as an individual. Are you with the first person that you were intimate with still? A lot of them is going to say no. And you know what?
An even better question.
Because life moves on, right? And people are acting like if Klopp was their first love and they can't move off of him. They got that like a virgin mentality. Sorry to say.
And then they tell you he's got credit in the bank. If you have credit in the bank, do you fucking blow up the bank? Is that what you do? When you have assets in the bank, when you have your jewelry in the bank, do you blow the bank up? Because that's what he's doing. When you tell them Trent is not a fullback, he should be moved to the midfield. Oh, no. Trent, let him play through it. So we are going to play this guy through this. Oh, Trent has done so much in the past. What the fuck has the past got to do with it? What has that got to do with it?
Yeah. The question is, how much?
Sorry, guys.
Liverpool supporters.
What is Klopp's salary?
Even in today's game, I'm still hearing pundits talk about Liverpool nearly won the quad. Oh my gosh.
I hate that rubbish. I hate that talk.
We were garbage last year.
What the hell?
We had the same problems all last season. Even with competing with a quadruple, we had the same exact offensive issues. We just happened to pull results. It really is.
How did we talking about the quad? How did we concede the goal in the Champions League final?
Right, hang on. Before we get on,
Who wasn't looking over his shoulder?
Before we get on to any more, I just want to talk out some chats and all that.
Okay.
Right,
like I said, you messaged me. You said to me, "Hey, Trouble." So I don't see. This is where it gets to get confusing here. I totally understand your situation. I've not pressured you once since I've got to know you. We've really been chilled. Do you see what I'm saying? And the fact that you're seeing someone is no issue. The fact is you are interested in speaking with me, because if you wasn't, you would have shut it down. But at the end of the
day, I think Mitchell's talking to someone else there.
Yeah, he's talking about his private life.
Yeah. I mean, I was about to say, I think Mitchell's just like, right, Mitchell, you went on mute, mate.
Mitchell on chain there, yeah.
What is going on here?
I had to shout, James, because he's talking about a girl. I was like, no.
Relax, man. Relax, no porn. Relax, no porn, man. Relax.
Mitchell, my man. Klopp's, you didn't mute yourself. Klopp's, Jesus Christ. Klopp's first year, Liverpool had less quality, played better football. That's true. I want to get on some things as well. There's a lot of people saying, why are we blaming Klopp in the chat? Look, I'm not going to say, big up.
These people are delusional. I'm sorry.
Was going to subscribe, but it seems this is turning into a Klopp out, and I don't think I'll bother. My man, listen, it's about discussion and debate. If you want to discuss debate and opinions, come in and chat. Come and talk to us. Put your comments in if you don't want to. Put your comments in, chat and debate with us. Why you don't feel Klopp is at fault? We can't pretend Klopp is not at fault at stuff.
Why is this always on one side? I don't
get. I 4-1 the Man
Why
City.
does it have to be a war? Why does it have to be a war?
If I hear someone talking Klopp in, I don't go. I'm just not going to subscribe to that channel. It's like you're in your feelings.
I mean, but even if we are criticizing him, like I don't necessarily even want him to go. I just want him to learn how to adapt, or I want someone at the club to grab him by the collar and yell at him like he's a little schoolboy. Like we need a headmaster. That's really what we need. We need someone who's sitting there. He's the dean of the students, and he's cracking the whip. And he's like, you either get in shape or you get out of the club. It's just that.
Right. That's us, Jenny. Right, guys. Yeah. Jenny, how you doing?
Hi, guys. I've got a question for everyone here. Do you think Klopp will go if we don't get Klopp goal? How do you go in them?
That's a good question. So Jenny's asking, do you think Klopp goes if we don't get Jude Bellingham and top four? Go on,
no, unfortunately not.
No, I don't think he's going
unfortunately
anywhere.
No,
I don't think he's going anywhere.
No. Not with FSU.
Klopp's not going to go. He's getting 50 million a year.
Thank you.
Yeah. That
FSU will not let him go.
There is
people don't realize. Yeah, Klopp is a human being. Yeah, like before he signed that contract, everything would have been stipulated within the contract, right? He would have challenged the board and asked for whatever he needed, right? So whatever was on that contract, he said he pressed the green button, right? And he signed the contract. For whose benefit? Was it for the fans' benefit or was it for his benefit? Because as far as I'm concerned, if I'm a manager, yeah, people say, oh, he loves this club. He loves this club. If I love this club, I'm going to challenge the board. I love it enough to even leave. Because you know why? I'd rather leave, knowing that I tried my best challenging the board rather than just sitting there and, going through all of these difficult times and embarrassing times like today. Me personally, if you love the club, you should love it enough to walk. You should or you challenge the board. Because to me, when your tenure's done, see, I always listen, when your tenure's done, your tenure, we would look back at Klopp, and I'm going to be honest with you. I keep it honest and I keep it real. I'm going to look back at your tenure and I'm going to say, okay, you won us the league. You won us the Champions League, fair play, and so on and so forth with some of the, but if I'm honest with you, you will never be an elite Premier League manager. Never. I don't care what anyone says. You will never be that. 8 years, one league. I'm sorry.
Yes, I agree.
It's been his fault. The reason why we should have won the league when we were 8 or 10 points ahead of City. And the thing is, we never go back to that time. right?
Yep.
And I say it. After a while, the decay will start to grow. And Liverpool right now, do you know how much money Liverpool going to have to spend to even get anywhere near Arsenal, even get anywhere near City? Do you understand the money? And he has allowed, through blind loyalty, and I say arrogance, right, and neglect. This is what he's doing. I never talk about Pep Linders. You know why? Because Pep Linders ain't the problem.
Yeah.
Klopp is the problem. If Pep Linders wants to walk across the pitch naked, right, and Klopp sits there and watch, whose fault is that? Is it Pep Linders? Or is it Klopp's? It's Klopp's fault. So everybody sits there and talks about Pep Linders' book. It's Klopp's fault. What are we doing? If Ox is still there, if Keita's still there, if Milner's still got coming off the bench, whose fault is it? Why we keep blaming FSG? I don't like FSG. I want him out. But I'm telling you now, FSG and Klopp are the same people. Believe that. If Klopp leaves, FSG will probably have to go as well. Because they don't have a puppet.
You will have to sell the club.
They don't have a puppet and someone who can do what Klopp does. Klopp for a long time, has been able to turn water into wine, but you can't keep doing that. You can't try and keep getting the Robinsons and thinking that you can get Simicast and the players that are like 7-8 million and try and turn them into 40 million pound players. It comes to a point where you're going to have to pay top dollar for a player, because you can't. Just think about it in a. I don't know if it's in a scientific way, yeah. You've got City and Arsenal who are paying money for their players, right? And Newcastle or who, Man United. And then you have Milner coming on the bench. You tell me, does that, how do you expect to win the league, right? When you have Ox on your bench, you have Milner on your bench still, Henderson's still there, Firmino's still there. And you're telling me you're trying, to me, you know what you're trying to do? To me, you're just, what's the word I want to say? It's like you're manipulating the fans. You're manipulating the fans because you know you have a likable. Like, the thing is with Klopp is he's a likable man. He's a likable man. He'll smile. He'll give you a hug. He'll do all of those things, right? But the truth is, enough is enough, and it's showing now. It's showing now. You've neglected the club for too long, right? You haven't bought the right players. You got Arthur. I cannot believe it. We are Premier League. We are known as one of the best Premier League teams in the world, right? And we bought a player from Juventus, right? That is literally getting paid for free. He's getting paid for free to sit there, chill, go home, go back to the bench again. For what?
Do you know what the sad thing is?
How does that even work in this day and age? And we as fans, we overlook it. We think, we do. It's ridiculous. Like, that would never happen at City. That would never happen even at Arsenal. It's just ridiculous. So sorry for keep going on. I know I'm just passionate, but I'm just being honest with you. Me personally,
Mitchell brings up a point that I have always been talking about. When we win, if we had won today, it would have been Klopp's brilliance. Now that we've lost in the abject manner in which we've lost, it's Pep Linders and FSG, right? This is what has happened all through time immemorial, and that's why we're where we are. That's the mark of a confidence trickster. Okay, this guy should start being held responsible for our results, and we have had some disgusting results. Today's match was worse than Real Madrid. Did anybody think Real Madrid was going to be any worse? And this time, it's a home assassination. We've been assassinated at home.
And no Haaland.
By home agents.
No Haaland.
What is that?
Remember, guys, no Haaland.
No Haaland.
I know that, but I mean, personally, I kind of like City better without Erling, but that's just my own personal opinion.
I think they're a much better team without him.
I expressed a lot of consternation about Haaland not playing, because I said that Haaland has never scored a goal against Liverpool when VVD was playing. He's a big target. I was worried about Julian Alvarez. And exactly what I was worried about is exactly what happened with his first goal.
Exactly.
You can't find him. All of a sudden, boom, he's there.
Just to respond to Mitchell real quick, I agree with everything he said except one thing. I don't think that we can't look at Klopp's whole tenure, right? Like, you can't look at the first 2 to 3 years the same as you look at the last 5, because there was a rebuilding stage there, and there was no one was expecting us to win the league those first 2 or 3 seasons. It was like, okay,
I agree.
to a
Okay.
Europa League final. So I think it's more fair to judge him on the last 5, really since 2017. So from 2017 on, we've only won, 1 Premier League, 1 Champions League. We've been to 3 Champions League finals. We had Loris Karius, lose us 1, and Sergio Ramos break Mohamed Salah's shoulder. And then we had last year's debacle and Thibaut Courtois putting on arguably the greatest goaltender performance in the history of a club cup final. So,
but again, Klopp played Karius.
Yes,
we saw the deficiencies in Karius before that game, and Klopp decided to play Karius.
Klopp,
you see what I mean? And
Klopp could have changed all those points if he had just done something different in all those games.
but he doesn't.
You know what? Here's the problem that where I'm going to disagree with you, Mike. Where you're saying you can't judge him with his tree, because within his tree, although he had bad players, he started to weed them out. Right? Correct?
Yeah.
So why the hell he didn't start weeding them out in his last 5? So if you did it in your first 3, but you do it in your last 5, then you're culpable just for the first 3 also, because guess what? It should be doing across the board.
Fair point.
You can't do 6 of one and half dozen of the next. That's BS.
Sure. But anyway, thank you, Jamie. I got to head out. Thank you. Big up.
Right, Mike.
Appreciate you.
No worries, Mike.
Yeah, see you later, Mike.
I just want to
Cheers, man.
move it on. I just wanted to move it on a little bit, talk about other things in the game. Diogo Jota. Now, yes, he had the apparently assist for the goal. If you go back and watch it, it was bad touch and it bounced into Salah, not really a pass. What do we do with Jota? It's been 12 months now since he scored a goal. Injuries are always concerning him. Jota was never the quickest, but my God, this game today showed that he's got no pace whatsoever anymore. No pace whatsoever anymore. Guys, what do we do with Jota going forward? And by the look of it, when Jota's fit, Jota plays. So where are we with Jota, guys? Let me know.
I think Jota for me is a bench player. And I think the reason why I say that is because it's not to take anything away from him. If you, being a Liverpool fan, you will know the type of strikers that we've had. We have had the best, to the point where our strikers become assets, where Barcelona, Real Madrid, they want to buy them. We don't have that no more. We don't have that anymore. The likes of Fowler, Suarez, Torres, we had great strikers. Now we have the likes of Darwin. We have the likes of Jota. I personally think Jota, it's like, I just feel like we've just been manipulated to feel like Jota is the striker. And he's a good striker, but he's not the leading striker. Even Darwin, to be fair, I like Darwin. I think his energy, but I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like we've really, Klopp has really set us back. And I just feel like he's going to be the hero turned villain, just like Arsene Wenger. I just feel like I just feel like that's going to be his fate, unfortunately.
And top of the pops from Pep Linders. Jota is a Pep Linders signing, courtesy of his super agent, Jorge Mendes. There's so much wrong at Liverpool, man. So fucking much wrong.
It's a lot. It's a lot, It's a lot.
Already. Newcastle want to pay £55 million for him. Sell his ass already. Already.
Jamie, I just want to ask you a question, yeah? What assets do we have at Liverpool? Remember when there were a time, we had assets that we could possibly sell, or a team was like fighting to buy one of our players? Yeah. How many assets do we have that we can actually let go of that wouldn't change or take so much out of the team? And I would like just for the panel to,
but Mitchell
to say who they think is
the only asset we have is Alisson.
Yeah,
Alisson.
I think that's the only. But you can't let Alisson go. Salah will probably go. Yeah, Salah will probably still go 70 million because he's a goal scorer.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Jota, I think Joe Gomez, because he's English and he's a centre back, he will go for something like 40 million ridiculously because he's English tax. So there is players we can let go that are not a service to us anymore.
Van Dijk.
Get rid of Van Dijk. Oh, there you go. Jen's smashing
Oh,
it now. Get rid of Van Dijk, she said.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, he's not as
I
good as
like
he was
any
before.
ruthless speak, man. On today's showing, I will
Nah, man.
seriously-
Shout out Jenny, man.
So go.
Exactly. Albert, does Jenny walk into Liverpool's midfield?
Sorry?
Does she walk in the Liverpool midfield because we'll need her energy and the Liverpool DNA?
Jenny's energy.
We need,
Jenny's great. Jenny's great.
At this point, Liverpool needs a witch doctor.
No, actually, hold on. We need to get away from this. We need to get away from this.
Fresh from the board.
running. Yeah, we need to get some actual ballers that can actually play.
Yeah, I agree.
Not
Technical
just
players.
running. Like I've said this
Look what
too many
City had
times.
it today, mate.
Yeah, but
This push and power thing, it is
but
outdated.
Drew,
it is boring.
Mason Power's dead.
Drew, not interrupting
outdated.
you, right? We have a very technical baller that
Thiago
Klopp went and get, but he don't know how to utilize the guy.
Carvalho, you're gonna say?
There you go.
Well, his legs are gone now. It's too late now, isn't it?
But you see, that's what I'm saying. It's like this is the thing that irritates me. And as I said, although I was born in England, I grew up in the Caribbean, so I have a lot of this roots from the older people. Klopp is putting a donkey in a derby and expecting it to come in odds-on favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're getting players who have potential and you are breaking them. And I have always learned that if you bring somebody in, you develop them at what they are great at, and then you can add to their game. But when you're bringing in somebody and then not developing what they already have and changing them around, you break the player. I'm sorry, you do. And then at the end of the day, people fail to understand, right? These players are required to run back and forth more than any other team. How do you expect them to survive doing that? You got to have a structure. You got to have a plan. Okay, like as I said, Thiago is a Mercedes-Benz, but you're turning him into a tractor to plow a field. How much sense that makes?
Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like a Fiat and a Ferrari. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that's why, even with how bad Arthur's been as a signing, that's why he won't get any minutes, because he can't do the running, but he's more technical than Hendo and Elliott.
Bro, I know Flacco, Hendo, and Elliott are horrible, but Alta isn't Premier League proven. You know what I mean? That's the thing.
Well, I don't know, but at the same time, neither is Harvey Elliott. Like, just playing a few games doesn't mean you're Premier League proven. Neither is Curtis Jones. You've just neither is Gakpo yet. Neither is Nunes.
Exactly.
Like, I'm yet to see even though obviously I know Jamie was talking about Jota, but even if we were just to forget our defense issues, even going forward, let's be honest, we still can't be like, yes, our attack is doing so great. Like, our attack is not really. It's weird because the ball gets to Gakpo, then Gakpo just really he backs into players and then he tries to do his own thing, one fake shot, and then he tries to shoot with his left foot. That's all I really see during the game. I don't really see nothing else. Salah non-existent.
You're right, Drew. It gets to Gakpo, then it goes to the wing, and then we're so slow in the wing, so going past players, we end up just going backwards, and we just go back, and when we lose the ball again, and then it's their attacking again.
It's sad. Like, really, it is
sad, man.
Really sad.
But like you play Chelsea next, and they're therefore worse than you guys. Like, you worried that could be like scrappy. You know what I mean?
That's gonna be a boring ass game. I have a feeling it's gonna be like it's just gonna be two bad teams like attacking each other, and God knows what's it's
gonna be like a relegation battle. You know what I mean?
I don't know. I think maybe for me, Jota, I think again, if we can play a back three, I don't know, play two strikers up front. To me, I think Jota could probably play with another tall striker next to him, whether it's Nunes or just play off somebody. Just play off someone.
Drew, not like that. He needs to be sold, man.
Yeah, but I know
players who are available on the free.
Exactly.
What are we waiting for?
Right,
Look,
guys,
one of the things that we need to address is that a lot of our personnel aren't good enough at this level. If we want to be a mid-table team, that's okay. Some of our players, or a lot of them are. How many of the big six teams will start Elliott?
No, you're right.
No one.
What did Elliott do in the match today? What did Elliott get? Does anybody know? What did Elliott do in the match today? Somebody tell me.
He was
I didn't even realize he was.
Hang on one sec, guys. Hang on one sec. Sorry. Just because we need to end this in a sec. But with the way some players play today, Robbo, you know, I think someone, my man here was talking about Robbo earlier. I think he was talking about Trent as well. Why was Trent pressing Man City's left back really high up the pitch straight away in the second half? You know, Robbo pressing in the second half and leaving open space in behind and getting subbed off. What's the bad performances of Trent and Robbo? For me, they should not start against Chelsea in the next game. They had disgusting performances that caused defensive issues that led to goals for us today. I don't want to see Trent starting against Chelsea, and I don't want to see Robbo starting against Chelsea. It's time for the manager to put his foot down and start getting rough with these players, in my opinion. And show, because our problem is, I've always said it, these players are too comfortable. It don't matter how many stinkers they put in, they will play the following week. And for me, they don't deserve to play. I don't want to see Trent and Robbo. Simicast comes.
But the problem is there, Jamie. The problem is there, Jamie, is, see, this is the thing. This is what Klopp has caused, yeah? And I'm sorry, I know I keep emphasizing on Klopp, yeah? But we keep saying we don't want to see Trent. We don't want to see Robbo. We don't want to see Salah. The problem is we don't have any other choice. Like, what Klopp has done is, because several transfer windows we haven't been able to capitalize on, we are forever reliant on Trent and Salah and Robbo. We don't have other players that can come in. So yes, as fans, we sometimes don't acknowledge that we do not have a good squad. Our squad is poor. We don't have the players to come in and make a difference. So we have to just keep Trent there. We have to keep Robbo there. We're going to have to keep all the other players there. We do not have quality in our squad. And lastly, I just want to say, yeah, even in regards to Thiago, yeah, for me, Thiago is a Harlem Globetrotter player. And what I mean by that is he's a player to me that should be playing in the MLS. That's no disrespect to him. He can't compete at this level because, one, he's quite injury prone, and two, just the style of play. I just feel like he's a player that should be. It's not. I personally don't think he's a good match for Liverpool. Me personally, right? I think we look at him and we, as an individual, and we know how of a quality player he is. But if you take it away from that, I don't think he's actually had a good time at Liverpool throughout his short career, if I'm going to be honest with you. So yeah, as just to answer your question, we don't have others that can come in to replace the likes of, you know, Trent,
doesn't
Robbo.
bring in anyone to replace.
We don't have it.
Challenge them.
Mitchell, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
When your fullback jumps out of the 50-50 challenge and you still don't have anybody to replace him, what are you?
Well,
your
yeah,
fullback,
I mean,
I didn't say your center forward. Your fullback jumps out of a 50-50 ball that results in a goal and you can't replace him. What are you?
You're incompetent, aren't you? I mean,
you know what? If you are my age and you're a Liverpool supporter, you better have your pressure pills handy, man. I have a fucking boatload of them sitting.
You know, guys, on that note,
Maddie, you look like you are my age. You better have yours. Right?
I don't take it personally with Klopp and them, so my blood pressure don't go up.
Big up, Sean. Final super chat of the day. Big up. Just go around and chat and ask Klopp in or out. Go on then. We're going to finish on that. By the way, everyone in the comments after this video, if you get in the comments, do not come at me if someone says Klopp out. That's not my voice. All right, guys. Like, people have got an opinion, by the way. If people want Jurgen out, people want Jurgen out. People think he's done, he's done. We all on this panel, all in the chat, want FSG out.
Klopp needs to leave.
We are not saying FSG over Klopp. No one is saying that.
Me personally, to answer the question, I'm not saying Klopp out, but he needs to, like someone alluded to earlier, he just needs to leave the club because he's not going to be supported or anything like that. His reputation is taking a hit. So at the end of the day, he needs to put the pressure on FSG and say, you know what? I tried my best, but my best wasn't good enough. I leave. End of conversation.
But he's not, because he gets £15 million a year. He's not fucking going nowhere.
Yeah,
thank you.
That's why I said Klopp has no ambition, because if you're only in there for the money, that shows
he's a yes man as well.
Yeah, but
he's a yes man as well.
I think in general we have to think about, like, we are here to support the club, not Klopp. Like, literally, we are here to support Liverpool. Okay, so at the end of the day, we have to go for what is best suitable and what's the best option for Liverpool, regardless of who is in the position, because I guarantee you Chelsea still have love for Mourinho, they still have love for Lampard, they still have love for, you know, certain types of, you know, Ancelotti's, but if they're not doing what is best for the club, then unfortunately you have to go. So for me, again, I'm not, for me in general, I'm not a fan of Klopp because I don't like the type of style of play that he plays, and I don't like the players he brings in. I'm not into PMP. I'm not into running all day 24/7. I like a mixture of less PMP, but more technical players. So I don't mind having a few PMP, but I need more technical players. The same way City do it or Arsenal. They still have PMP players, but they have only maybe 1, 2, max 3, maybe one on the bench, 2, but the rest are all technical players. That's what I'm into. I'm not into running Olympics, 300 meters. I'm not into none of that. I need you to play football.
Yeah,
I'm with you. We need to change. There's no doubt about it, guys.
This is not athletics, mate.
No, we're going to leave it there, though. Great.
Okay, thanks, Jamie.
Guys, we're going to leave it there. We're going to do a call-in show on Wednesday as well,
Big
guys.
up, Jamie.
Make sure you're back Wednesday night for the call-in show. I'll be back Monday, guys, on this channel, talking more things Liverpool and going through this again on Monday. Guys, we've got more to look forward to today. We've got the Anthony Joshua fight later and other things happening as well. So, you know, just stay away from football. Just stay away from football. And don't go and look at, by the way, do not go and look at Arsenal's penalty they won today. It's disgusting. It was never a foul and they got a penalty for it. It's horrible.
Oh, wow.
That will frustrate you even more.
Big up everybody on the chat. Be safe. Catch you all guys on the next show.
Yeah, thanks for that, Jamie. Much appreciated. Shout out to everyone on the panel.
Yeah.
Keep doing your thing. Shout out to Albert, my fellow Ghanaian.